Good Vibes Only is here to take you on a journey to discover the weird and wacky world of wellness. It's brought to you by the globally renowned skin and wellness expert Marie Reynolds, who holds over 36 years of experience within the skin and wellbeing industry. Each week, Marie shares her own holistic lifestyle hacks and chats to other leading wellness experts to find out their good vibe story, discussing how they deal with day-to-day stress, anxiety, sleep, and skin issues. Listen in as Marie explores why, when it comes to our health and wellness, we need to look beyond the linear, question the norm, and think outside the box.
Today I am joined by a very special guest, Shenali Natalia. Shenali has been a client of mine for quite a few years now, and I regard her and her now husband, Kun, close friends. They're absolutely one of my favourites when I see them come to the clinic. So we're going to talk about her healing journey, but we're also going to talk about her product range, which are called Natalia Botanicals. So, Shenali, you introduce yourself to my listeners,
Sure.
and then we can go right into it.
Hi, so thank you so much for having me today, Marie. Honestly, means the world. For anybody who doesn't know me, won't know that actually I met Marie 5 years ago. So she's been a huge part of my personal healing journey and actually has helped me in ways beyond my wildest dreams in terms of my physical health, issues that I had with anxiety. I have ulcerative colitis and a lot to do with mindset as well. My husband and I nickname Marie Mama Marie. She's literally our second mum.
That really is an honour.
Everybody who's met Marie will, I'm sure, feel the same, that we're very, very lucky to have Marie in our lives. And so Marie has just been a huge part of my journey and, you know, has also helped me in terms of business. And I feel like I just learnt a lot from her. I'm really excited to have a chat today.
That's sweet. But a lot of people say that what they've done is through me, but actually it's through the commitment. And I always thank my clients because you can't get where you get unless you commit to the program. And so many people want quick fixes. So you first came to me, I remember. In fact, I think as well, I had quite a few messages from Kun really late into the night. It was almost midnight at some points, like almost begging me to do some distance energy therapies, which a lot of people can't get their head around. But you was in hospital this one particular time and you was violently sick, wasn't you?
Yes, I mean, there's been several times that you've really seen me at my worst, but there was one particular time where I had norovirus. I was in hospital. I was actually in hospital in Norfolk because we had planned to kind of spend a few days doing some in-person treatment with yourself. And then I had to rush back to London and be seen by my gastroenterologist as they felt like, you know, having colitis and norovirus, it was the safest thing to do. And immediately they put me on antibiotics, they put me on a drip, and it was all sorts of kind of pumping all these different drugs into me, but actually nothing was really working. It was almost like they were at the limit of, you know, how they felt that they could help me, but nothing was really making a difference. I was still vomiting. I had severe stomach pain.
I mean, you was vomiting, like, I think Kun said that you was being sick about like 15 to 20 times.
15. It was definitely, it was a minimum of 15 times. I couldn't leave the bed. I was kind of vomiting over the edge of the bed. Then I would run into the bathtub for like some water therapy and to kind of calm my mind down. It was a really, really difficult time. And it's quite scary for everybody around me as well. I had my parents with me and also Kern, who was my fiance at the time. And it was literally just a matter of, we need to call Marie. Marie needs to do something. And we were just desperate at that point because you just feel like the doctors weren't really able to help me. There was no real progress with what was going on with me. And I remember poor Kun, I mean, he's just an angel and he just, you know how much he stuck by me.
The two of you, honest to God, are my favourites. When you come in, the way you look at each other and the way you are to each other, it is just heavenly. I love you both to bits. I really do.
So he was messaging and he kept saying, don't worry, I've messaged Marie. And, you know, even without you doing anything, him just saying that he had messaged you just kind of brought some sort of comfort to me and thought, okay, I'm okay. I'm going to survive this. But long story short, we you started doing distant therapy. I've been doing it anyway, so I fully trust in the program. I'm totally dedicated to everything that you do. But this particular time when I was in hospital, and I pretty much went from, it was like night and day. The way that I felt, everything kind of calmed down. The doctors didn't really understand what had changed. I didn't even bother to say, look, I'm doing this distant healing or anything.
They just don't get it.
Yeah, they don't get it. They don't appreciate it. So we didn't end up saying anything. I think it was the first time that actually my parents were really, really shocked by the power of this type of healing, because we're not in person. You took a blood sample 5 years ago and you still work with that. It's just incredible.
Yeah, because a lot of people get confused when we take a blood sample, that they think it's to do with the actual blood cells or it has to be fresh blood. But we're talking about quantum energy. And when you talk about quantum energy, there is such a thing as string theory. There's no such thing as time and space. You're connected all the time. And with the twinning theory in quantum, identical twins in particular tend to sense each other's pain. So if one has had an injury in one part of the country, the other one in the other part of the country will feel the pain. How can that be? It's a phenomenon. They believed it's to do with this thing called the twinning theory, and it's believed that these twins share the quark within the mother's uterus. So if you take that theory as being that DNA holds your quark, so it's like your twin. So I treat your twin, and we're working on frequencies. And if you look within energy medicine, it's believed that all physical manifestations come from chronic energy blockages. So it's about working on those energetic blockages. So at that time, you was being sick so violently, and then you stopped, didn't you?
Yes. Straight after, no exaggeration there, literally straight after, my mum walked into the room and I was like, hi mum. She was like, what is going on? Because she said that I hadn't spoken in days because I was just constantly being sick and I had no energy to speak. And I wasn't even able to take a sip of water because even a drop of water in my mouth was making me be violently sick. It was a really, really scary time. And that all stopped. I was able to drink water, have a shower, and I was fine.
Yeah, this has happened in quite a few times with you because you are very, very sensitive to this type of therapy. And I have to say, we do other therapies as well. We do skin therapies, but you had a really bad patch of burning eczema in your throat. And this linked a lot as well with your capacity in how you portray yourself emotionally, because you're so empathetic that you absorb other people's toxicity and you find it difficult to communicate. So we worked on that as well. And we put on the topical application of Repair Plus and Anoint, if I remember rightly.
Yes, that's correct.
And it almost went immediately, didn't it?
Yeah, it went down significantly. And I had seen other people about the issue so it was a rash on my neck. And it used to make me feel really self-conscious. And, I wasn't able to really wear fragrance. And I love beauty things. So I was always just conscious of kind of like, okay, don't put any makeup there. And, I wouldn't try to disguise it because in my head, I just feel actually health is first and I don't want to irritate it any further. I saw different people about it. So I spoke to a nutritionist about it many years ago. It's always been like an on and off thing for me. And then I also was having acupuncture done and I mentioned it to the acupuncturist and they said a very similar thing to you and said, actually, we think it's blocked emotions. It's to do with like the throat chakra. And I do have a lot of empathy and I am a very, very sensitive person. And I knew all of these things. Nobody could really hit the nail on the head and actually get rid of it. It was almost like other holistic practitioners knew what it was, but they weren't really able to help me get rid of it until I saw you and you were treating it in person, but also distant therapy as well.
Yeah, because the thing is as well with frequencies are attached to so many different things. It's not just physical things. It's not just cells. It's not just pathogens. It's also emotions. So you've actually been here before where we've tested you and Kun on the emotional side of it, where I turn the emotional frequencies around, because I'm a great believer that if you see something, sometimes it's almost like you convince yourself that you're feeling this. So if I turn all of the emotions around and you can't see what's on the label, then it literally is just an energetic match. And all that came out was so in tune with you. It was unbelievable. I even surprised myself. It's like, oh my God. Like even the last time you come in, we'll talk about that time. We were both screaming and jumping about the bloods, wasn't we? And it's just so fascinating. I think one of the reasons that I wanted you to come on here as well and to talk about it on your point of view is a lot of people poo-poo this idea of energy therapy, distance therapy. But I think once you have experienced it, especially in a drastic point that you have, there was another time that we did that was quite drastic. And I think it was during lockdown and you was under an extreme amount of pressure and an extreme amount of emotional toxicity was around you at that point.
Yes.
So that we did this procedure with the distance therapy and I told you to go to bed and I think you slept for quite a long time, didn't you?
Yeah. So what I really love about the distance therapy, first of all, is that you just feel relaxed. It doesn't feel like anything crazy going on with the body or, and literally nothing like that. So I remember you said, just go lie down, close the curtains and hold a crystal if you have one. So I literally did that. I fell asleep and I'm not like a heavy sleeper or anything, but clearly I was just very, very relaxed. I fell asleep and then I woke up and went to the bathroom and I just remember seeing black stool.
Yeah.
And I was just so confused, but honestly, it felt like something completely shifted from my body.
Yeah.
Energetically, emotionally, everything, I felt really different. And then there was also another time where I vomited and it was black. And literally after that, I was totally normal again after having so many different bouts of sickness. And I think that was a time where my ulcerative colitis had flared up.
Yeah.
So I was being sick and, running to the bathroom and rushing and having stomach cramps and things. It completely passed.
And I think when you first came to see me, I mean, you're just a gorgeous human. So is Kun. And you were so tiny. And I think you have grown so much in your health and your confidence and the way you are, the way you carry yourself. It's just wonderful to see. And I think as well, the last couple of times that you've both come, you've had the total body wellness. I must stress that when people have got ulcerative colitis, this cannot be done if it's active. Yours hasn't been active, has it, for a while?
No, since I've seen you, actually, so before meeting you 5 years ago, I would have a flare up a minimum of 3 times a year, and I would be hospitalized for about a week at a time and then come and be on a course of steroids. Since seeing you in 5 years, I've had 1 flare up. So I think that speaks volumes. So luckily, being really consistent with you and just staying committed and disciplined, I've managed to keep myself in remission. And because of that, I'm able to do the full body detox, thankfully.
So the full body detox, it's to do with literally resetting the whole digestive system. This includes an enema and a colonic hydrotherapy. A lot of people get confused that why would you have both? Well, an enema has fuels in it from the substance that we put in it, which is either organic coffee or wormwood or an alkaline cleanse. I think we did a parasite cleanse the last time, didn't we? And we had some fantastic results, amazing results. And then the colonic hydrotherapy is amazing because what it does, it hydrates all the visceral organs. It works on hydrating the bowel, cleansing the bowel in a very gentle way, but it really does carry through and hydrates the visceral organs. You then go into the bathroom, have an evacuation, and then we come back and then we do something called ozone insufflation. Ozone is amazing. It's placed up the back passage and then we measure what volume of ozone is put up there. So it's like a gas and it feels like, I mean, there's no elegant way of putting this, is there? It feels like a backward fart that you hold on to.
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah. So you hold on to that and so you hold on to that for about 20 minutes and I massage the tummy just for a couple of minutes. That has to be absorbed via the bowel into the blood system and it really oxygenates everything. And then after we do a probiotic implant, the most exciting thing, well, there's a few exciting things, isn't there? Because I think I only did 1 fill on you. It was so sensitive and you had such an amazing release.
Yeah.
I mean, even Kun was coming in filming it, wasn't he? He was so excited.
I know, so romantic, but
I know.
No, I've had really, really good results. I've been doing colonic hydrotherapy for, I would say, on and off for about 8 years now.
Yeah.
And I love it. Actually, it's one of my favorite treatments. I think it just makes me feel a lot more energetic. Somebody with a sensitive stomach, I feel like I can feel quite full and gassy. But actually, since seeing you and experiencing it with you, the whole package itself, I just feel like a completely new person. I feel like the results get better over the next few days.
Definitely. And you feel not only energized, your eyes are brighter, your
Yes.
skin is glowing, you
Yes.
just feel amazing. But this time when you came here, I thought, right, I'm going to take Shen's blood and we'll do a live blood analysis beforehand. And when we did it beforehand, your red blood cells on the system, we see a lot of ghosting cells, and that can be linked to lack of iron, lack of minerals. There was lots of symbiotics, which are to do with pathogenic imbalances as well. So I took it beforehand, and then we took it after, and you was in the colonic room just resting with your probiotic implant, and I was squealing. I couldn't believe it. I was so excited myself, but you was excited as well. You couldn't believe it, could you?
Yeah. I mean, it just goes to show. So somebody like myself, yes, I'm quite a sensitive person. I have an autoimmune condition, but generally I would say 95% of my lifestyle is actually very healthy.
It is,
yeah. I mean, I don't entertain any toxicity. I keep my circle very, very tight. I'm very happy. I have a loving relationship, loving family. I eat very well. I do all of these things that we've been trained to do, but actually it's just my lifestyle and I feel great for it. But it just goes to show that actually when you did the live blood analysis beforehand, you could still see that actually I was anemic. I had low iron. You can see that it was very clear that I have an autoimmune condition, all these different things. And the change within, I think it must have been maybe an hour after doing like the ozone therapy, the probiotic, the enema, the colonic, the change was literally there in front of my eyes. It was just the most incredible thing.
And it was night and day. It literally looked as though all of those ghost cells had sucked up all of that oxygen, because your red blood cells are the things that carry oxygen. They have 4 hemoglobin receptors, and they can carry up to 1 billion molecules of oxygen. So that ozone had literally infiltrated all of those ghost cells, and the symbiotics that were there, that were darting about, they had it had gone down to about 10%, if that. It was amazing, exciting. But I want you to also just tell us about your amazing adaptogens. Tell us about how you started them, what the brand's called, and how they're used.
So I started the brand 5 years ago, around the same time that I had met you. And I was just on this journey. I was seeing loads of different practitioners before meeting you and just trying loads of different things. And I would say that the adaptogens were probably one of the things that I felt, okay, I can do this at home. It's quite easy to incorporate into my daily ritual. So slow down on like the acupuncture and all of these different things, and seeing a nutritionist and these other holistic wellness things that can be beneficial for some people. But I just felt that actually seeing yourself, we're kind of going a layer deeper than I'd ever been before. And I'd seen like such a great difference in like my mental health and everything. And actually you really helped me at that time, because I remember my skin was so bad that I wasn't wearing any makeup and I wasn't feeling like I wanted to dress very fashionable. I was wearing like really, really oversized things, wanting to really hide myself constantly. And I remember, I'll never forget this. I remember you said, come and see me next time, come by yourself, come on the train and put a little bit of makeup on.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you invited me to one of your events that you did at Albright. You did a talk there, and it just really helped to kind of bring me back out. And it was actually Kern who said, why don't you create a brand? And I just always felt things like that would be quite impossible. You know, I suffered a lot from imposter syndrome and just wanting to be in the background. But I think, honestly, you know, not only has like all the different therapies that we've done together helped like the colitis and like the physical things, but I think actually you helped me really grow as a person and become a lot more confident.
Oh, that's lovely.
And just feel like myself.
I'm really, really passionate about supporting other people and lifting them up. And, you know, I think it's really important that, you know, not only for yourself, but for others. My business started, I was a single mum and I was left in a really desperate stage. And a lot of people say to me, oh my God, how did you do it? I don't overthink it. And this is what I was saying to you as well, getting back to the non-emotional contract, that you put things in a logical sense, then you do it. So I love hearing these stories, and it's a beautiful brand.
So it's a brand based on adaptogens. So they are powdered herbs and mushrooms. They're inspired by Ayurveda and also traditional Chinese medicine. So I know it's a lot of things that you incorporate as well.
Yeah.
It's just a range of different powders. So it's all about wellness from within. So doing the two side by side, and that's what I was saying, it's not just one thing and this is going to fix my life. And I think that's why things have worked out so well for myself, because I am naturally quite a disciplined person. Because I'm quite sensitive, sometimes I just feel like I need support. And that's what I've got from you. So I've totally stayed committed. And, literally anything you say to do, I'm like, okay, on it, Marie, I'll do the parasite cleanse, 2 weeks, no sugar, done.
Well, you can be the most committed person, but you get attachments from other things and other people. And it's about looking down the kaleidoscope and seeing the beautiful patterns. But sometimes the kaleidoscope gets out of focus. So you just need to stop and just look and just twist it slightly. And then it becomes in focus again. You are very committed and very good at listening and committing and investing, and you get fantastic results. So the brand is called Natalia Botanicals.
It is, yeah. I'm really proud to be stocked globally. So that's super exciting for me. We're just a really, really small brand and I pretty much do everything by myself.
Yeah.
Currently I'm in Madrid, which is super exciting.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Honestly, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. But one last thing that I want to say, Marie, actually, I think for anybody who's listening and, they're just wondering, but what does Marie actually do? Like, I don't fully understand. I just want to tell everybody that I don't fully understand everything from, A to Z. But the biggest thing that I've learned is to have trust. And I feel like me letting go and not asking you 1,000 questions like, okay, so what has come up and can I see the results of this test and that test and whatever. I've really learned to actually just trust that you know what you're doing. And I've really genuinely felt the impact of that.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say, because I think that is one of the challenges that if I do a scan, they want to know, what did you pick up? And it's really important to understand that this is an energetic scan. It's not a physical, biological reading. You go to your doctor for that. I am not here to diagnose anything, but it scans energetic blockages. So when I just say, look, if you just let me just do my work, then I can do it.
And for all the boys out there as well, my husband is fully invested in Marie and he loves Marie as much as I love Marie. And we've both genuinely had very, very good results.
Håkon, I've got to say though, he comes down with you and bless him, you booked him in for a colonic and the fear of God that was on his face. He was really not on board with it at first. And I said, look, you don't have to do it. But he then said, look, okay, we'll do it. But now, I mean, I wouldn't say that he sort of like rushes to the colonic room, but but he loves the effect afterwards, doesn't he? I mean, and you can really see it in his eyes, how bright and sparkly his eyes are.
Yes, he really, really loves it. And he's always talking to everybody about a colonic now. And sometimes when he's out, he'll take a picture of a random person. I'm like, Kurt, you need to calm down. Because he'll take a picture and send it to me and say, do you know what? I really think that guy needs a colonic. Like, I wish I could talk to him about colonic.
Listen, we've got to take the taboo out of talking about poo, because that's the thing, that is the thing that everybody's worried about. But that's great. So let's just talk about your botanicals again. So tell us about adaptogens, what they do, and why you started to use them.
So I started to use them personally, really to heal from the anxiety that I was suffering with. And I used to work in the beauty space and it was honestly my dream job, but then things changed, like management changes and all of these things that are quite common in a large office as, a company starts to grow. And I just started suffering with really, really severe anxiety. Now, we all know that the gut and the brain are heavily linked. There's a huge connection. So everything that I was feeling in my mind mentally, it would just impact my stomach. And having colitis, inflammatory bowel disease, it was like an instant reaction. And then I was finding myself literally, soiling my pants and all of these things on the way to work. So I was just trying to find different ways and I started researching at the same time. And I started studying holistic nutrition from home. My dad actually said, look, I think, take your mind off things and start studying and try and heal yourself. And that's when I started learning. And then I started to speak to my grandfather about some of the Ayurvedic herbs. So they are literally a class of herbs and mushrooms. They're all non-toxic. They're non-habit forming. They come from all different parts of the world: India, China, Russia, Peru. And they literally adapt to what your body needs in that current moment. So if your body needs a little bit more energy, some people may have heard widely used adaptogenic root from India is ashwagandha.
Yeah.
So if your body needs more energy, actually ashwagandha is really great for helping build stamina, but then it's also great at calming you down and giving you that sense of balance. And really similar to the work that you do, Marie, adaptogens help to bring your body back into balance.
The thing is with adaptogens is that they work on the adrenals. If we look in Chinese medicine, the adrenals are known as the Ming Men, or they're part of the Ming Men. And the Ming Men fire all of the other organs. They're really responsible for hormone balancing, which adaptogens do. They sort of help to balance hormone. They're great for cognitive function. They're great for sexual function. They're great for gut health. They're great. And also they're good for the root of things, because in Chinese medicine, the kidneys are linked to the hair, the root of the hair, which the adaptogens do. They are what they say on the tin. They adapt to what the body needs, exactly what you said.
So we created them in powdered form.
Yeah.
Just because I felt like actually I want to keep it as raw and quite authentic. So they're all in powdered forms, and you can literally stir them into like teas, coffees, smoothies, juices. You can have them hot or cold. And they come in sachet form, and we also have jars as well, which last about a month.
Amazing. So if people want to find out more, where do they head to?
They can head to nataliabotanicals.com, and then we're also on Instagram, natalia.botanicals.
Fantastic. Well, listen, I love talking to you.
Thank you.
I love seeing you both. Thank you for coming on the podcast and sharing your journey, because it's a very personal journey, but I do appreciate it. And I'm sure that the listeners appreciate it, because more and more people that share their story, then it can help a lot more people as well. So thank you for sharing your story, and lots of love to you and Kun.
Thank you so much.
I can't wait to see you both again.
Thank you so much, Marie. We absolutely love you and very, very grateful for everything you've done for us.
Oh, right back at you.
That's it for this week's Good Vibes Only episode. But there's plenty more wholesome, holistic information where that came from. Check out Marie's website, www.mariereynolds.london.com, or follow Marie on socials. For Marie's products, follow at Marie Reynolds London on Instagram and Facebook, and at Marie Reynolds_London on TikTok. You can also follow Marie's day-to-day content on Instagram. Follow at Marie Reynolds_MRL. Thank you so much for listening to Good Vibes Only. If you've enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to subscribe to and review the podcast wherever you listen to them. And remember to share the episode too. See you next time.